Here we are again with another Patreon upload. So this one, it's just a little tiny stinger at the end of the episode. It's mostly just the original episode, but we covered the movie Don't Worry, Darling on Film Rescue, and it was me, Seth, and Hope. And there were people that we know that were saying this is a really important movie and you need to talk about this. And the movie came and went. It disappeared. No one thinks about it anymore. No one talks about it anymore. It was a last-minute replacement. We had another guest lined up for another episode, and that fell through. We were just kind of like, just chuck this in. So yeah, this movie is nothing special. Everyone quickly forgot about it. The only thing that keeps this movie afloat is watching Florence Pugh. All the background of this movie, hearing Olivia Wilde cheating on her husband with Harry Styles, like that right there, that became the focus of the movie, not the film itself. And the film itself is just not interesting. It's just not interesting. It really is very, very basic. You've seen this plot before. You've seen it with The Matrix, Existence, the Dark City. You've seen all this before. It's just done in this way where it tries to have a feminist edge to it, but it kind of feels like it's not quite reaching that point. I watched this movie once. I quickly forgot about it. There are better movies in this genre that you could go with, and the reviews kind of reflected that. They all said, "Yeah, we've seen better," and I think that Olivia Wilde is much better as a filmmaker. This just got tangled up with. Don't hook up with your lead actor in the middle of production. Okay, do it after. Okay, do it afterwards, not in the middle of production. So yeah, this just really has a little tag at the end. It's kind of a funny thing with Hope playing with her dogs. That's really all it is. It's a fun episode. We overall had a good time, but yeah, I would never recommend going back and rewatching Don't Worry, Darling. It's really not worth it. I would watch The Matrix or Existence or Dark City before I'd ever rewatch this. So here it is. Here's the re-upload of the Patreon-only cut of Don't Worry, Darling. Enjoy.
Welcome to a new episode of the Film Rescue Show. I'm your Pitchmaster General, Seth. I am here with Jesse.
I hate this movie. Hello.
And I'm here with Hope.
Dude, when you did that intro, I got major Shatner vibes.
I'll take that, honestly. I can see
Shatner vibes.
I was trying to catch my breath in between words, and so maybe that's what he does. Maybe he's just out of breath as he talks.
Or it might just be I'm on my third beer right now. I don't know.
Listen, anything could happen. Today, we are here to talk about Don't Worry, Darling, directed by Olivia Wilde. We've got some thoughts on this thing. Jesse had to evoke almost the name of a movie that should not be named on this show.
What movie? What movie? What movie?
We'll get there. We'll get there in the negatives. I don't want to give away too much at the beginning of the episode.
You haven't even watched it. You haven't even watched it, Hope.
What are you talking about? I was the very first. Wait, what? What are we talking about?
No,
the movie that has not
you haven't
been
watched
seen.
the mystery film.
The movie that we refuse to ever say on this show ever again. You haven't watched that, so
we'll come back around to this seed.
That you know of. I might have seen it.
I think that on the offset here, what everybody would love us to get into is all the surrounding this movie before we can even get into the movie itself.
It's more interesting than the movie itself,
isn't it?
Oh God! All this crap that happened around this movie just to do a movie that's all about men, like just all of that.
I haven't felt like I was in high school since this drama show. Like, Chris Pine doesn't like Harry Styles, and Olivia Wilde's leaving Jason Sudeikis, and Florence Pugh and Zach Braff. And I felt like I was in high school not giving a about any of this ancillary stuff. And I'm going like, is the movie good? her last movie was excellent. I love
Yeah.
Booksmart. Is this movie good? That's
Nope.
all I cared about. And it's just, but did you see he might have spilled water on Harry Styles' dick? What? I don't care, guys. Is this high school?
Dude, that's every job I've had in the past 15 years has been that. So
Oh no.
it drives me insane. The thing is, people don't grow up. We all perpetually live in high school, and that's probably how this film got made. Is
It feels like it was written by a high schooler.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Because we all perpetually live in high school, apparently.
I guess. I mean, like, was there any truth to the things that were happening around this? I will do my investigative journalism here, and like, was there any truth to any of this that's worth investigating, or is this all rumors? Because I don't know if I saw any like real fallout from this except for the divorce.
I think that Florence Pugh and Olivia Wilde really hate each other now. They just didn't get along. I think Florence Pugh tried to light the set on fire or something like that to get out of the movie.
Whoa.
Something. It's like, or no, she tried to light her trailer on fire or something because she wanted to just get out of the movie or something. I know that Harry Styles I think he spit on Chris Pine or something like that. Chris Pine, I feel so bad for him because he was just like
that
this,
whole
this,
thing where they were at like one of the, it was maybe the
Premieres.
preview or premiere or something, and he was like, there was literally more talk about if Harry Styles spit on Chris Pine at that.
That's how
thing.
uninteresting the movie is. that's
Although
the
I
thing.
agree, I felt so bad for Chris Pine. I really did. That poor
He's
bastard.
a good actor. He's a good actor. I
Oh my
like
God.
him. He seems
Excellent
like a good
actor.
guy.
I want to go see D&D because of him. Like,
I kind of want to see it too.
Okay, so it's great.
Oh, it's good. Okay.
No, listen, Jesse, I was in the same boat as you, and Hope, like, I saw the trailers and I saw the posters, and I was like, this looks like that Three Musketeers movie that we put on the other year.
Oh God.
It's not. It's Guardians of the Galaxy in swords and sorcery.
I'm in.
It's so good.
well, the thing is too is I saw I was like reading about this interview with Chris Pine. He's like, dude, this is my favorite movie. I was the bard. I got to float around and run away from shit. It was great. I was like, you know what? I respect that.
Yeah, he is not the action lead. It is such a great movie.
He loved it, and I was like, dude, I respect the shit out of you for that. Just for that, to own being a bard. I was like, yeah.
He seemed super chill ever since the first Wonder Woman. Like, all the interviews I've seen, he just seems like, yeah, this is goofy stuff, and I'm just having a great time doing it, and you guys are taking this way too fucking seriously.
Yeah.
Once again, on brand, because we don't want to talk about the movie we're talking about.
Well, and I figured if we front-loaded the drama into the first half, we could actually get into the real film criticism here.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is, there's a lot to talk about here. I'm kind of excited for this one, because this might be one that has split the room for us a little bit. I'll start us off by saying I wanted to do this one potentially this season if we got an opportunity to. And so the schedule just kind of opened up, and I was like, well, it's fresh enough, and it's kind of horror sci-fi, which is right up our alley. And so I wanted to talk about it. I like 80%, maybe 75% of this movie. Like hands down, just would go to bat for about 75% of this movie.
There's a lot of good shit in there. I'm not gonna deny it, but
It's good looking.
Yeah.
It's a good looking movie.
So what I'd like to do, for anyone who's seen the film, I'd like to structure our episode like the film, where we talk about the good stuff at the front here as if we don't know what the twist is yet.
Okay.
Deal?
Okay.
So with that in mind, Jesse, what did you enjoy on your... Was this your first watch? Did you see this in theaters, or did you just watch it for this episode?
Just this episode. This is the
Hell
first
yeah,
time I
okay.
watched it.
What were your... so going into it, beyond the controversy around the drama, what did you know about it? What was your, like... Were you going into this with high hopes beyond knowing it was going to be on Film Rescue?
No, I mean, I basically, I knew that it was disappointing because Hope, this was your least Was it your most disappointing of 2022?
Yeah.
It was. I was very disappointed in it.
I understand that too.
Yeah. So I went into it with like, okay, all right, lower expectations, hit rock bottom. I went in kind of like, it looks good, but you can just kind of tell right from the get-go that something's not right with the world they're living in.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I noted in I made a bunch of notes while I was watching it yesterday. This is a hodgepodge movie. It's a hodgepodge of various films, and I'll get into that later on in the negatives. I guess that the big positive, I guess we're all gonna have this. Hey, Florence Pugh, I'll watch you in anything, even garbage.
Right.
I mean, it is Flo. I'm
Yeah.
actually. I think honestly, the next movie I'm gonna see in theaters is gonna be a good person. So.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because
are they still together? She and Zach Braff, or they split?
they broke up.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah.
I was kind of. I think they in the initial trailers banked on all of our like midsummer goodwill because I remember the first trailer being like, "Hey, look, it's Florence Pugh in a cult again. You're gonna like it, right?"
Yeah, they try to sell it as a cult movie, and it's really not.
It could be.
In a way.
It's got culty aspects. That's another one of the big positives. Chris Pine plays the cult leader. Holy shit! This man must have interacted with people like this.
That guy could absolutely play David Koresh. I swear he totally could.
Yeah,
he totally could do it.
That's a bold statement, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off.
Yeah, I really enjoyed him specifically opposite Florence Pugh. That dinner scene. It doesn't quite reach the Hereditary levels, but I really dug that dinner scene.
Yeah. Can I point out something that just confused me?
Sure.
Everything?
Well, yeah. Upon a rewatch, the twist makes every single character's decision completely irrelevant.
Well,
we'll get into it in negatives. So the whole scene where Harry Styles is finger banging Florence Pugh and Chris Pine walks in and there's that voyeurism scene. Yeah. What is up with that? It's never even addressed later on in the movie. It's just
it's addressed when he calls it out at the dinner table and says, you trusted me then, or I trusted you then, or something like that. That's the cult stuff. That is what cults do. They build you up and then they put you into very like compromised situations, and then when you choose them, they reward that behavior. And so she doesn't choose him in the dinner scene when that gets called out. That's her running away from them, and that's why they react in the way they do. Because when you go opposite the cult, you have to be punished for the sake of every other cult member, so they don't stop believing.
Okay.
No, this is definitely huge cult vibes. 100%.
Yeah, there's.
It'd be better if it was a cult, because then all the decisions would make more sense. Because the big twist that happens makes all those decisions completely incorrect.
Well, and
in a sense, it kind of is a cult, because you have these people who believe that this is a better world and society for their decisions, whereas the majority of people wouldn't believe so. Obviously, the majority of people don't believe so. So it might not be, in a sense, a true quote-unquote cult, but it kind of is, in a sense.
Well, and I think what I want to allow to the movie is that it's using cult stuff to talk about neoliberal fascist indoctrination, because that's what this group really is. They're like, oh yeah, we're looking for progressive materials. We're really they all their speech is forward facing, right? But they want to uphold like the nuclear family and monogamy, and so they allow other races in to look like progressive, but you still have to fall into this kind of churchy liberal cult mentality. So I think she's trying to talk about a big thing with a big thing, and that's where it's really I can see it faltering there for you, Jesse, where it's like, why are we using cult language to talk about fascist indoctrination when you could just do the fascist indoctrination because it's truer to this story?
Red State did this better.
Ooh.
I Red State. Well, do you also?
I had to hunt down a Blu-ray of that one. That they don't make that. They don't put that on streaming anywhere.
I own it. I've owned it. Right? I've owned it since it was available. But
is that Kevin Smith's best movie?
No, I still think Chasing Amy is.
Yeah.
But it is a damn good film. And if you ever watch any of his An Evening Withs or whatever, the story behind it and his process for making that film, holy shit. And also, I really wish he made his alternative ending, but
me too.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Please tell us what the alt ending is.
Oh my god. He wanted to basically make fucking Armageddon with his shit and had the hellfire and raining down and the horns of fucking Gabriel and shit. And I was like, dude.
He was going to have Ben Affleck descend from the sky as an archangel and start slaying the cops.
Was he going to descend as his character from Dogma?
Essentially, yeah. Essentially.
So that would have tied it back into the viewers' universe? Okay.
Yeah. That was the goal.
Oh.
Damn. Why were we robbed of that?
He literally...
Too expensive.
Yeah.
It was too expensive.
He literally said, I did not have the budget. I was never given a budget for this. He's like, I would have had to forgo the first hour and a half of the film for 5 minutes.
See, this is where AI could jump in and give us alternate movie endings, or the Will Smith version of The Matrix, or whatever you want. That'd be. I'm not advocating for that yet. I'm just dreaming here, guys.
As a little fan thing, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see AI generated movies. Have you seen that AI generated Seinfeld episode?
No.
Do I want to?
It is horrifying. Horrifying.
When you strip out the creative subconscious from art, it's just the processes, right?
Yup. Mm-hmm.
It's literally it's literally the Pythagorean theorem at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
What's that thing? The Fibonacci sequence, where it's just 1 to 3 to 5 is
yeah.
Get it.
Something else I really dug in this movie. The score is poppin'. I love the score for this movie.
Score and sound are really good in this film. I was very weirded out, creeped out by the score. It was very good.
Top to bottom, this is a very competently made movie.
It's fine.
The shots are great. The horror sequences are functional. The acting is excellent.
Olivia Wilde knows her stuff. She really does. I just hate that things happened.
I think the major issue that we're going to run into here is very story based. It is very plot based, which essentially allows us to keep a bunch of the movie when we get to the fixed part. I'm hoping, anyways.
Yeah.
Because there's tons of this that I do really like. I really love the false idling of women in this movie by making them powerful sexual objects. It's not often normal to have a scene of a woman being ate out, let alone it being an extended scene. This isn't a quick cutaway. We're watching her climax.
Have you not seen Blue is the Warmest Color?
No, I have. I'm just saying this is not the mainstream. This is a mainstream movie doing indie movie stuff like that.
I was about to say, if you want to see some long cutting eaten out, watch Blue is the Warmest Color.
Blue is the warmest color. Yep. Got it.
So I thought you said you just watched it.
So during that dinner scene, when Harry Styles walks in and starts eating out Florence Pugh, did anybody else say, "Well, dinner's served"?
No, because I'm not a fucking man, Jesse.
I think that's what the scene was screaming. So that and that kind of stuff, I really want to just stand up on a chair and give it props for. Olivia Wilde really is swinging for the fences with a lot of the stuff within the movie, just even with what's portrayed onto screen. This is another daylight horror movie, just like Midsummer. All the scariest shit's out in the daylight.
Mm-hmm.
I dig that kind of stuff. Well, yeah, kind of.
In its own reimagining sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is the Stepford Wives Get Out comparison, like, does this belong in that conversation?
In a sense, like I would say it's influential, but maybe not in the same realm, but it's influential enough.
Which existed first? Did this script exist first, or was it Get Out that existed first?
No, it was Get Out.
Get Out, I think technically, because Peele had been working on that for like 20 years or something.
Yeah, it was
like
Get
the
Out.
initial penning. But this was also a blacklist script for a very long time. This was not touched initially because this has an alternate ending, which we'll get into in a minute with Jesse.
Why wasn't that used?
So this was also a black script like that. So this script has existed for a while in a different kind of capacity.
Has there ever been a blacklisted script that ever got finally made and it was bad? I mean, besides this one. I could see this being good, but can you list like John Wick was a blacklisted script? And
really?
Yeah, it was made like, you know who was, I told you who was originally written for, right? Paul Newman. He was supposed to be John Wick.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was a blacklisted script for the longest time, and he just couldn't get it made because nobody liked the idea of killing a dog on screen. That was the one thing where it's like, nope, can't do it.
Dude, they tease you with that every movie after that, too. They put a dog in danger in every subsequent film.
Oh, God. Oh, man. But yeah, has there ever been another blacklisted script that's ever turned out, like, bad when it gets made?
I found a list here online.
Is there
a list of things?
Yeah, a lot of these are just, they never got famous. Like, there's big names in them, but none of them really got ATM.
Ass to mouth?
No,
you did just see Rosario Dawson over the last weekend, so
oh God, that was the best. But
no, ATM was
no. Shut up, Seth. I met Rosario Dawson.
I'm sorry. I was reading and not listening, so that's amazing. What the fuck?
I met my wife. I was at MegaCon Orlando, and I got a fucking photo op with her. I got to hug her, and how our height differences are, my face was in her boobs, and I died. I could have died happy at that photo op. And I was like, will you be my wife? You're a goddess. And she's like, oh, you're sweet. I'm like, no, I want you to be my wife.
Wow. That's amazing. I'm so fucking jealous right now.
I thought I sent you a photo of it. Maybe not. I'll put up a photo to the chat. But I met my wife. The photo's hanging on my wall right now. I'm just wife.
Hope has been blessed.
Yes.
Oh, I was blessed. I was blessed, all right.
By the way, the Ahsoka trailer dropped. It looks really good. Mary Elizabeth Winstead playing Hera. Perfect casting.
Not even
she's
that.
married to Ewan McGregor.
Well, not even that, but it's really cool because Rosario Dawson and Mary Elizabeth Winstead are working again because they originally worked together on Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof together.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's right.
And now she gets to act with her again, which is really cool.
What a wraparound! Damn, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So, anyways, back to this dog shit.
Yeah, back to Don't Worry, Darling. Have we skipped any positives? I want to give Harry Styles the benefit of the doubt here. And
I hate Harry Styles so much.
Are we really overcasting Nick Kroll? I loved him.
Oh yeah,
I wish there had been more of him. To be honest,
I loved him in this film. I've been a fan of his, but holy shit, I was like, give me more Nick Kroll.
I was waiting for him to turn into the hormone monster.
Right?
No, he would have been better.
But I just came in my bed, sleep in it.
No, it would have been better if he was his character from Parks and Rec. How he was. The shock radio DJ.
Anytime I see Nick Kroll, I'm just waiting for Jason Mantzoukas to show up, and he is like, for being such a stand-up dude in real life, he plays toxic masculinity so well.
Oh God,
he would have fit great in this movie if Jason Mantzoukas showed up.
He was overlooked for this and shouldn't have been. Like, oh my gosh,
he could have been the trolley driver.
Oh, yes.
That's
There you go.
That's my single recasting. He's the trolley driver.
Yes,
I can't go
love
out
it.
there.
I love it.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it made its budget back, so it's a very successful film.
Congratulations.
We'll give it that.
So did Transformers, Seth.
Goddamn. All right, if you're gonna cut me there,
Uh-huh.
let's talk about the twist.
Okay, let's get into it.
So for the audience that has watched, you know what it is. This is where I checked out in the theater. This is where I kind of went, oh, it's dumb.
Did you in any way notice similarities to the film that shall not be named?
Yeah. So
say
the
the name.
reveal-
Just say the name already.
Fucking Serenity! You asshole!
the movie's called Serenity, and it's another one of these situations where they got a stacked cast, shot in a beautiful location on a script that like has a weird fucking twist in it that turns all of it into virtual reality.
Eat shit!
This so that's the twist of Don't Worry, Darling. Alice has been against her will strapped into a, I guess, hypnosis based some kind of futuristic. They go out of their way to not explain it and to just make it visual, which I'll give them props for that. That's a good idea for the visual display of the twist.
The visual,
My issue
yeah.
is my issue is still the twist itself is that this place that they're living is a virtual reality experience for kidnapped women.
Yeah.
And I get it. Again, going back to the metaphor that she's trying to talk about in this movie, I understand what is being aimed for here. But here's how it comes off. It comes off with that Lost vibe of we didn't know how to end this thing. And so instead of trying to explain all this cool shit we set up, we're just going to turn it into nothing.
Yeah. The ending of this movie is, I said it's the visual equivalent of Gunshot Cut to Black.
Like, what was the airplane? Where did that come from? What happened there? You know, like the
There's a lot of similarities between this and Serenity. The airplane is like the fish that's in the ocean.
Yeah. It's like the inciting incident.
Chris Pine is like the disembodied voice that gives you the backstory, kind of to explain what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
This is just Serenity. This is just Serenity, and that's why I fucking hate it with every fiber of my being. Just
well, and the Serenity, I can't believe I'm going to say this, at least had the sense of its twist was linked to the story. It's about the escapism from death. You know what I mean? Like wanting to escape from death. I get that, like it misguided, but I get it. In this, it's like it's just to say, damn, isn't this group of guys just real evil and shitty?
Seth, you also have a major hard-on for Anne Hathaway.
There's that too. Yeah.
Yeah, was one of my major positives for that movie.
Just saying.
No, it's true. But like again, I think that your twist should be in service of whatever the message of your movie is. And this movie decides to just resort to what it feels like is, aren't these guys just evil and shitty? And like, yeah, they are. I totally agree. They are evil and shitty, and they get everything that's coming to them when they die inside of their simulation. But we don't even see the outside result of that.
Right.
Yeah. That
So,
you want to go into the alternate ending that was supposed to be in this movie, Seth?
Yeah, so there's I did a little deeper dive. The original script ending is basically she gets out and decides to go back in and end it. Like she recognizes what is happening, escapes, and then goes back in to kill off all of these guys and then gets back out at the end. Like, it's not, I mean, I guess it's not really ambiguous on this one, but it is kind of a real jerk off move to like just hear her breathing in the room, I guess. The sound is mixed differently in the real world than it is in the simulation. I don't know if you guys noticed that. So the sound mixing of her breathing at the end is in the real world. It's not ambiguous.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, so in the original ending, she goes back through and kind of revenges it, and I think that's better for this twist. I mean, if you must do this twist, that's better, right?
Yeah.
That reminds me of a movie from the early 2000s called Identity. You ever seen that?
Identity. That sounds really
James
good.
Mangold directed it. You think it's like 8 or 9 people trapped in a motel in the middle of a desert, and they keep getting killed off one by one. It turns out it's actually just they're all the same personality of one guy.
Yeah, John Cusack's Crazy, the movie.
Yeah, John Cusack's Crazy.
Yep,
yeah, they're all different personality. Yeah, that's what it is. He gets out. They tell him you have multiple personality syndrome. We're going to send you back in to kill off your other personalities. It's like that's that ending.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I still don't think that's the best twist. I think they set up something grander that could have been paid off more grand. Like, did you guys see The Cure for Wellness?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So, beyond being a half hour too long, the movie really pays off its ending, right? Like, that is a bonkers fucking ending. I was hoping for one of those. I'm not going to lie. I was hoping for one of those. And maybe that's my bias. Like, if someone watched this movie and really, really dug it and felt like it was saying something amazing that spurs you on to making your own art, fuck me. Like, literally. And I mean this genuinely. Fuck me and my review on this. If you really, really dug, like, this stuff in here. I, personally, came in thinking that this victory thing out in the desert and all of this cool stuff that they had said, like, it could have just been cool rocks underground, and that would have probably paid it off for me, right? It could have been something goofy like that, and it probably would have paid it off for me. So yeah, I think the twist is not good.
No, like I was said in the opening of this, it's a hodgepodge movie. This is the movies I kind of picked out. The Matrix, Existenz, Stepford Wives, Edward Scissorhands, a little bit of Westworld in there, Serenity. The Victory thing is like, that's a reference to 1984. It's like, oh, you're under surveillance in a police state. I get it. It's like, but it's all in service of this stupid twist where it's like, oh, you're in a fictional alternate reality where your husband is keeping you trapped. It's like,
dude, it's not even her husband.
What's the point?
Yeah, ex-husband.
What's the point of this? Like,
honestly, I think if you must do this twist, make him a total stranger. Like, he just imagined a whole life and kidnapped her off
some shit.
Yeah, or like Nightingale syndrome. He fell in love with her while she was taking care of him, and so he's built this whole like love story that's not really there. Like, he's kind of I'm trying to think of the right word for Harry Styles' character in this. Jack is
unhinged. Unhinged, manipulative, because you see him when
pathetic. He's kind of pathetic.
Yeah. Well, I think Harry Styles is pathetic.
I was just about to say, so it's it's art reflecting reality. What?
Can I just go on a tangent? I hate Harry Styles with every ounce of my existence. I fucking hate this man. I don't think he's a good actor. He's a terrible musician, and he's a horrible person in general. That's my thoughts. I just made a note in my notes that just says, I hate Harry Styles. That's the note. Nothing more.
I disagree on the musicianship. He's a talented musician. I think that's his realm, though. I think we see it every generation, right? The musicians try to jump to acting, and some of them are much better at it, Lady Gaga, than others, Harry Styles.
Yeah. Oh, God. Lady Gaga is just... I love her. I love her.
Not a bad choice for Harley Quinn. Not a bad choice.
Well, not even that, but the fact is, she has the most gorgeous voice. Like, when she plays her less pop-type music and just really, like, sings. Oh! On top of that, she can fucking act. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she's just a super talent.
Yeah. Isn't Billie Eilish trying to become an actress now or something like that?
Yeah, I saw she had acted in something recently, and the clip that I saw
She
was
did?
not bad, but I didn't have any context for it.
I had no idea.
I could see her doing acting stuff. She seems like she's chill enough that she'd be like, yeah, sure, why not? I'll show up.
I mean, she's got.
She's just like me, a goth girl with Tourette's.
Oh, yeah.
She has encyclopedic knowledge of The Office. Have you ever seen her do like
Office
trivia stuff?
I've seen that.
No, when there's an interview when she actually met Rainn Wilson and she was like geeking the fuck out.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, she did a short film called Not My Responsibility that she wrote and produced. That's cool, but didn't direct herself. That's a smart choice. That's a good head on her shoulders.
Yeah.
Cool.
I have a couple more notes I wanted to just point out.
Oh, please.
Here.
Yeah. There are some other negatives for Don't Worry, Darling.
Oh, these are just like random notes.
Sure.
So the mystery starts too soon.
Like
in the first 10 minutes.
When do you feel like it starts?
When she cracks open the eggs and there's nothing in them. Like that's like 10 minutes into the movie and I'm like, wait a minute, shouldn't this be at the end of the first act? It's a 2-hour movie. You're starting too soon. Like, shouldn't you set up the world first? And then slowly reveal?
But that's part of it, is the fact that the world is so tiny.
Yeah.
So I mean that in and of itself is it's hard to expand if you already are limiting yourself. And that I think was part of the problem, is that they literally limited the world to a very small thing.
Yeah.
So small.
Tiny town. Another thing, I thought Catherine Hahn was in this movie for a second, but it's not her. You guys notice that actress looks exactly like Catherine Hahn?
Yeah,
I would
very
have
similar.
loved if Catherine Hahn was in this.
Oh,
Holy
she'd be
shit.
great.
I
Oh,
love-
that's right. Oh, WandaVision. Yeah, this feels a bit like WandaVision sometimes. Yeah.
Although WandaVision was 1,000 times better.
Yes, except for the ending.
Wait,
What?
you want witches to punch each other? That's crazy, Jesse.
Fun with After Effects.
You remember how Doctor Strange resolved all of its stuff in its movie with magic instead of having him punch the boss? Damn, I remember when movies were good.
I remember when Marvel was good. Anyways, speaking of Marvel characters, Florence Pugh doesn't wear a bra at any scene in this movie, and I approve of this decision.
Woo! Thank you. Thank you, wardrobist.
Thank you. Main character's name is Alice, as in Alice in Wonderland. Wow, I know writers use subtext, and all of them are fucking cowards.
Do we get through an episode without that line at this point?
Well, movies are so obvious now, I can't help but keep using it.
Jesse, you're a one-trick
Yeah.
pony. Learn some fucking new tricks, motherfucker.
Teach me new tricks. Main problem with the film is that you're always ahead of the main character. I get it. It's fake. I get it. It's like you're always just ahead of the main character the whole time.
Yeah. I have a massive complaint with the machinations of the twist.
Oh, I have one big issue before, other than the twist, but yeah.
So let's in good faith give the twist to the movie. Jack is essentially God in this simulation, and yet he is absolutely so quickly and easily taken out. Like as soon as he gets the call, he should be able to manipulate this program in some way, right? Like why?
Yeah.
And this is maybe an issue with the movie not explaining enough of its world. I don't understand how this world works. Like, has he invented like a pathway into other realities, as it's kind of in the original script, they don't drive out into the desert. They have these houses that appear that are empty to the women, that when the men step into it, it lets them leave the simulation. It takes them back out into the real world. And that's eventually how Alice escapes. By removing that element, you also remove the element of explaining how this world works, which is this is not as much a simulation as it is like a reality hypnosis machine type thing where they're kind of experiencing a collective dream.
Yeah. That they never explain, like, if that's actually Jack, the guy that created this thing, and he's in here with, like, there's only, like, what, 50 people in the town or something
If
like
that.
that?
Yeah.
72. Yeah, 72.
So that begs the question, like, is this, like, a big, well-known thing that he's made? And if he is the creator of this, why is he in there all the time?
Right.
Like, what they say that, oh, well, Harry Styles has to leave in order to go get food and make money to keep this dream sequence going. But then that begs the question, why does he spend most of his time working while she's trapped in the simulation?
Well, and I think that's, again, like, the movie could have gone into explaining this is a subscription model. Like, he is subscribing to this cult dream world, and he has to pay to keep her in there all the time, and then
Pay to play, motherfucker.
Yeah, pay for access. And so that's why Jack is so affluent and able to stay in. Everyone else is funding his ability to do that. It's a pyramid scheme. Just like the It Works shit on Facebook, and like, that's it. The person on top doesn't have to work at all because they've hired in the other people below them to do all the work for them. Again, I have to suck this out of the subtext. This is not direct text in the movie, and that's a little frustrating. I'm not saying you have to explain the whole thing, but, like, there's a balance between giving too little and giving too much.
You have to add in a lot of your own kind of self-created backstory to make any of this crap make sense.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like Mad Max, where when they say black thumb, you assume they mean, like, green thumb for plants, but for engines. Like, yeah, I don't need to hear the backstory on how they came up with that nickname. You can just drop that nickname on me. I need to understand a very complicated and nuanced hypno simulation dream machine. Yeah, I'm going to need some explanation on that one. Sorry. I need at least a little bit.
How dare you not know everything? God.
I need to know what the stakes are. Why can't Jack just apparate anywhere within this world if he controls it? Like,
why would you create a world that's just like 1950s Nevada? Like, what? Why?
Well,
you could do anything? This is what you have?
I'm happy with that aspect because Jack wants life to go back to the 1950s like Republicans. Like, that's what he wants, is to regress in time like that. And to
it feels like it's on the cusp of a political message, but doesn't quite get there. It doesn't have the balls to commit to the statement.
Well, and it's for the service of real characters, and I will give it that. By the end of this movie, these do all feel like real characters, and that's a huge accomplishment. Like, to even whiff the ending like this, and I still walk away going, like, I don't know, Jack and Alice, those are both really strong characters. Frank, super strong character. I'm happy with these characters, but, like, your plot, it just. It's frustrating by the end because I think it could have, like, Frank could have been just God in here, right? He could have just been taking over everything by the end, so it feels like an accomplishment when she gets out. Mm-hmm. Now it just feels like, oh, just be a little faster than them.
It cheapens it.
Yeah. Well, Hope, you said you had another negative, not around the twist.
I did. Okay. I thought we were a little bit more progressive at this point, but maybe it's because it is set in the 50s, quote unquote. Who's the first person to realize something's off with this world?
Oh, yeah, the black woman.
Who's the first to get fucking killed off?
Black woman.
Who's the first person to be called crazy?
White woman.
Why are they fucking racist and against women?
I'm curious if the read is supposed to be that because of the, like, traumas around being a woman and being black, that she might be more apt to see through the smoke screen faster. Like, I wish they could have talked about that in our 2-hour movie. I wish they could have had a conversation about that in our 2-hour movie.
They overlooked her character so fucking quickly. They could have done a bigger deep dive. Like, she could have been working with Alice during this whole thing. But instead it was like just a little blip.
Well, and you don't even need the fucking airplane. She could say, "Hey, Alice, isn't it weird you don't remember what you did before you came here?" Holy shit, the whole movie's taken off running. You know what I mean? Like, we are out to the races.
Yeah. Again, the movie doesn't commit enough to the political message, so it feels empty. Like, if they had made the statement of, yeah, the black woman is considered the crazy one. She's the inciting incident. You know, there's a clear racist element to the story.
Yeah.
Instead, they just after that file on her gets burned, she's never brought up again.
Yeah. It's done.
It's like it
over
never
with.
happened.
Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. They could have made that story so much more of having Flo's character actually work with her and figure this out. She could have had like a partner during all this, and like, yeah, maybe she could have eventually gotten killed off or whatever, or taken out, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like she needed a bit more help in this situation than she was given. Like, it would have been more realistic if she had the help of her to figure out all these things and nuances. And yeah
it's like Olivia Wilde's the one that gives her the help at the end of the movie and says, yeah, go ahead and get out, Alice. But like, she's in there by choice because she's there with the kids that she like lost or they died or something. But the problem is, if Alice gets out and then tells the world about this whole imaginary world where people are being taken, that world's going to end because the cops are going to find them.
Oh, yeah.
right.
So why would you help her escape? Why isn't that everybody's against Alice?
That whole scene, for as great as the acting is in that scene, that they're just screaming exposition at each other. That's all that scene is. Sorry.
Last act exposition. Don't ever do it, please. By that point, I should know everything.
Like, I get the move. You got to hide your exposition anywhere you can, and if you can hide it behind, amazing. Because that is a neck-breaking shift that's happening there for Alice, right? Because she's not only finding out that Olivia Wilde's character, Bunny, she's finding out that Bunny knew, and Bunny has information to help her escape, but she has to like get over both of those informations at the same time.
Yeah.
I love it's an excellent scene. It only exists to get exposition out, and so I was a little pulled out at that point to be like, oh yeah, that's right, because the last hour and 40 minutes of the movie we couldn't have any real conversations because of the twist. So now we have to have the real conversation packed in here at the end, and it's like, oh Christ,
yeah. And when we say packed in, we mean literally it's the last 10 minutes.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
This movie sprints to the finish. Sprints.
Once it blows its load, it is trying to get out the door.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, why was the original ending not in here? Wasn't there was like a whole scenario where she like wakes up, it's the year 2050, and it's like it's all this futuristic technology all over the place, and then she goes back in and
I never believed that it was the actual 1950s, even on my first watch.
Oh yeah, I never thought that.
Same.
Well, and my girlfriend pointed it out last night. There was a topless woman at the pool. That would have never happened in the 1950s.
Never would have happened. Nope, never happened.
Like the martini glass show, I can excuse. It's very Marilyn Monroe. You know, it feels like that setting, that time. A topless woman at a pool party in the daylight. Yeah, doubt. That is an incel fantasy.
Yeah.
Which maybe that's why the teeth got removed from this, because I know she added. She was very intent on making Frank like Jordan Peterson. That was her character inspiration for him.
That makes sense.
Because, I think her quote was like pseudo intellectual for the incel community or something like that.
Yeah.
How she which I get it. I think if the movie had teeth and was really willing to like say the word incel, you know, out in the real world, and maybe Alice gets out and calls him an incel as the rest of her memories come back to her and she's able to recognize you know what I mean? Like, if we would have shifted into a more realistic real world and given the movie some teeth, then it's actually saying something. Then I think I'm more willing to give it this twist of like, if she goes back in to kill a bunch of incels, that's some biting political satire, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, like it it was lacking so much in that aspect. Like the whole thing where if she really wanted to do it, she would have had like women in power, women in charge. She would have really had that sink in. The most that she did in that aspect was like her getting eaten out. Like, okay, cool. But honestly, women have been getting eaten out for centuries. It's only empowering because it was on film. You know?
Also, when you realize that it's actually just his fantasy of it. It's not really happening.
Right. Yeah. It's not a good faith version of it.
As a woman, the only woman in this threesome right now, 9 times out of 10, I gotta be the director of my own eat out session.
Oh my God.
And I'm talking about for men, for men, not women. Women, there's a reason why I fuck women.
Well, I would hope.
There's a reason I fuck women. But not to say that they're bad, but you still gotta direct it, you know, because, again, it's not like a blowjob where you suck a dick and they get off. Like, every woman's a little bit different. I know I'm a little bit different. So, there's, again, the only reason that was fucking empowering was because it was on film. It is the only thing. And honestly, there's more guys who want to eat me out than I want them to eat me out. I'm like, okay. Like, it's true. It's fucking true. They're like, oh, I want to eat you out. I'm like, I'm good. Just, I'm good, bro. How about you give me your dick? I'll go to my girl down the road. She can eat me out. And then I come back for the dick. That's a good compromise.
There was no gay in this movie either. I find that severely interesting if you want to talk about the 1950s. All that shit was happening behind closed doors.
Yeah, this is like a men's power fantasy. Why is that not in here? Not to sound...
Because gay men would never do this to other gay men.
No, I'm talking about like why are there no like there's no woman on woman action?
Because gay men would never do this to other gay men, and the people who are doing this to these women are straight as fuck.
No, I'm talking about the women being into each other
since
they're
what I
in
mean.
the simulation all the time.
Oh, because if we're talking about incels, they're not fucking thinking about that. They're too happy just getting attention.
No, totally. But like when they're not there, I would expect at least a few of these women to be bi-curious, and that's not highlighted at any point in the movie. Like it is
again, because
all straight relationships.
That all goes against actual true female empowerment that this movie alludes to but doesn't happen.
It's also because it's
no.
It's probably because it's also a studio film.
Well, no, I was gonna say the closest is when they like go to the clubs and shit, and they have like those women strippers and whatever, but like and the dancers.
Yeah,
that's the closest we get. But if they're writing this programming, they're obviously have full control over these women. Why would they want these women to have any freedom? Honestly.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay, yeah.
Again,
yeah.
I wish the movie had outlined what amount of control they have on the women in this. That's not very clear.
Yeah,
that is true. It's not clear, but I would personally think, you know, if that's the case, that they have this control over the women, they'd be like, oh, if she was gonna be like that, it has to be in front of me.
Yeah.
I still have the power.
Yeah, and then Frank kind of takes it from her by being a voyeur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't imagine incels having basically like god powers in their own little matrix, and them not like fulfilling their own, you know, kind of fucked up, toxically masculine fantasy. Again, I feel like this movie could have been a little more explicit on its positions around this stuff instead of just saying, hey man, isn't this fucked up?
If it wasn't an American-made studio film, it probably could have. Like, if you give us like a Bong Joon-ho or something like that who did Parasite, like, this would be amazing. Like,
oh my Christ.
He would be fantastic with this material, but just, I think because you have you have a director that is under the thumb of a studio doing this, it just, you're kind of stuck. You know?
No, sure, I can see it. Yeah, they're trying to get the
American studio system is still run primarily by cis hetero white men. It's primarily still the people in charge. You know, so the people that are basically running this simulation are the people that are making the movie in the background. How's that for a weird simulation?
Yeah, no, it's this is the kind of movie that could talk about that kind of stuff too if it wanted to.
Yeah.
They did kind of start off on bad footing, hiring Shia LaBeouf initially, though.
Oh, yeah, you want to go into that stuff? Again, the production is more interesting than the film itself.
Flo was warned.
Yeah, no, I mean, Jack, I think, initially was supposed to be
Shia LaBeouf.
or maybe he was Frank. I forget which one.
Either
way, he was initially supposed to be in the movie. Shia LaBeouf is...
an asshole.
Has been outed as not being a great person, and especially for a movie that is about abusing women, he's not the guy to put in your movie.
Yeah, didn't it? What was that whole story about his dad? What was that movie that he did? Was it American?
Oh, Honey.
American Honey, where it's like apparently he just made the whole thing up, like it was all bullshit.
Dude, who knows? Like the world of actors outside of being in movies when they're like trying to orchestrate their lives to have some kind of a story behind it for their fans. A lot of shit gets made up. Just a lot of shit gets really just straight up made up because it's not Shia LaBeouf the person, it's Shia LaBeouf the actor.
Yeah.
And then there's a person that lives under. Jim Carrey talks about this often now, where he's like, there's a mask that is added on top of the mask you already wear as a person when you're an actor, and especially when you're like Shia LaBeouf that claims to be an actor that gets as deep into the roles as he does. Like there's consequences to that, and you lose part of your humanity when you do that, and that comes out in how you treat people.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I was gonna say because Jim Carrey is a huge method actor. Like, have you seen when he played what was it? Not Moon. What was it? Or
Man in the Moon.
Man in the Moon.
Man on the
Thank
Moon.
you.
Man on the Moon.
Yeah. Like when he was Andy Kaufman, like people were like, "This isn't Jim. What the fuck?"
And he even admits to abusing people through that time.
Yeah.
You know,
if you want a really good documentary, check out Andy and Me. It's a really good documentary.
Yes.
It's better than the movie itself. Better than the movie itself.
Yeah, no, I love the documentary.
If you piss off Danny DeVito enough that he calls you out for it, you fucked up, my friend.
Yeah. A guy that's on the set of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia for 15 seasons at this point. How the fuck has you ever managed to piss off Danny DeVito?
Right.
My God.
So nothing to do with anything, but because you mentioned Danny DeVito.
So anyway, I started blasting.
When I was doing my crime scene cleanup, so my boss from Maryland, Kevin, he named his van David Beckham because the van, it was a Mercedes Sprinter. Those are the vans we use. Mm-hmm. He was like, the van is great, but then it sounds like a piece of shit. So we called it David Beckham. So when I transferred to Florida and I got my own van, I named it Vanny DeVito. And I always had Kinder eggs on board for like if there was kids. And I'm like, in this trying time, I offer you an egg.
Can I offer you an egg in this trying time?
And I always had Kinder eggs on board for the kids. I'm like, in this trying time,
that.
I offer you an egg. And I named him Vanny DeVito.
That's, yes, Vanny DeVito.
Oh, God.
I love it.
So that's my segue, or not my segue, but my off-topic story of the day.
Oh, God. I have kind of a little thing. This is for Russ, Russ Burlingame. The director of photography for this movie was Matthew Libatique, that did Josie and the Pussycats. You're welcome, Russ.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a good-looking movie. It's just in service of crap.
Oh, no. It's gorgeous. It is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah. I think that kind of sums it up, and that was the overall reaction to it too. I think
it is a beautiful beautiful car wreck.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful mess, absolutely.
And with all the stuff happening in the background of this thing, it was a car wreck you saw coming at you at about 12 miles an hour. Everyone knew this was going to be a mess when it came out. Apparently, Shia LaBeouf and Florence, they were fighting the whole time, and she felt unsafe around him. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, come on.
Wow.
Was Olivia Wilde getting divorced while this was happening, or was it before this happened?
Well, she was already with Harry Styles when it was filming.
Okay, so
Wasn't
she was
she?
in the process of divorce then. Okay.
Harry Styles was her rebound, booty call, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah. Are they still together, or they break up?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't give a shit.
I only care about Jason Sudeikis.
Yeah, somebody unearthed an old clip from SNL back when Harry Styles was the musical guest there,
Yeah.
and Jason Sudeikis was one of the cast members, and Harry Styles is a child. It's so fucking funny.
Oh God.
Ugh, God.
He's like 16 or 17. It's hilarious.
God.
That's
Yeah,
just,
so-
that's just so cringy.
And how
Yeah,
old is
no, I know.
How old is Olivia Wilde?
Listen, they're both above 25 now. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
I was about to say, does it really matter at this point?
Why can't more actors be like Keanu Reeves, just like a genuinely nice person that just keeps their private life
because
private?
look, there's only 3 people currently like very, very out in Hollywood. There's more, like Sir Ian McKellen, fucking love him. Sir Patrick Stewart, yes, obviously they're treasures. But currently in this set of time, we have 3 people that we must protect at all costs. There's Keanu Reeves, Brendan Fraser, and Ke Huy Quan.
Yes.
The wholesomeness trinity.
The trinity of wholesomeness. Those are the 3 that we must protect at all costs and love and adore. And just everyone should aspire to be those 3 men. And God damn it, I love them all so much. I just want to give them a hug.
I feel like you just pitched the cast for Encino Man 2.
Oh, but Keanu Reeves comes back as his character from Bill and Ted.
Yeah, exactly.
He comes back as Logan. He comes back as Ted, Theodore Logan. Oh my God.
That's
Dude,
what
I
needs-
play Ted.
Oh, have you seen that interview? Oh God.
Dude,
That was so cringy.
As someone who has interviewed more famous people, that is my fear every time. Just every time we have a guest on, and I'm like, oh Christ, I hope I don't say some dumb shit like that.
Oh,
It's such an innocent mistake, but it is such a like. His response wasn't even mean. Like his response was just like it was a little hurt that the guy hadn't done his research.
yeah. Oh God.
I play Ted.
Whatever you do, don't piss off Henry Rollins. That happened to him one time, and he basically interviewed himself, and the guy was so terrified of him during the entire interview.
Oh, are you talking about the Nardwar interview?
No, different one.
No, not
Oh.
Nardwar, dude. With Nardwar, that was a different situation.
That was a different
but-
situation. It was something else where somebody didn't do their research on him. They were just kind of tasked to interview Henry Rollins, and they hadn't done his research. So Rollins basically interviewed himself and just kind of said, "All right, there's your interview. Go off and do whatever the fuck you're gonna do."
God damn.
Yeah.
I love Henry Rollins. What a badass.
Haven't heard from him in a minute. Where the fuck is he?
He's living life, man. He's living
He's
life.
still doing. He doesn't stop doing his talking tours. Like he just does that full time.
Oh, okay. I need to see if he's coming back to like DC or Maryland or something anytime soon.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Because he also goes overseas for like long stints too.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
his whole thing is you can't tie that man down.
Nope.
Would
Well,
you want to?
we're off. No, not really. I think we're off in the weeds. The overall review. Hey, it's real pretty. It might work for you. It definitely didn't work for us.
Because we saw Serenity and you didn't. So
Yeah, at around the hour 45 mark, that's where I kind of go, all right, okay, I'm going to pretend that a different version of this happened.
if you want a better version of this story, watch like David Cronenberg's Existence. That's a better version of this same story.
Ooh, I love Existence.
That's such a good movie.
I love Jude Law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one where it's revealed that the man is actually the bad guy at the end. Not to give too much away, but it's like where somebody is revealed to be the true
I think we're
villain.
past giving much away, dear.
Well, yeah, when it's revealed that he's actually the main bad guy, it's like, oh, that feels earned.
Sure.
Whereas this doesn't feel earned.
I think he could have been a great casting for Jack to do that like wholesome to evil turn. I think Jude Law really could have crushed that.
I can see that, yeah. Yeah.
Well, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, I have 2 pitches.
Oh, goody.
Oh shit! What, the original and then
And then your
pitch?
You're fucking psychic, Hope. You are picking my brain over there. We will be back in just a minute. Hey guys, it's Seth from Jaguar Sharks. We just wanted to steer you towards our TikTok channel. It's kind of popping off right now. We had a video kind of get caught up and go viral on our Last Jedi episode, and we're just kind of having fun with that. So we're just directing everyone who listens to the show to head over to TikTok. Follow us at Jaguar Sharks Pod. You can see clips of our show, and we're going to update with videos from us, questions of the week, topics for the day, and the movies that we're into. We're excited to see you guys over there, and happy to have you here listening already. Welcome back to the episode. We're talking Don't Worry, Darling. You guys ready for a speed pitch?
Do it.
Just do the original script.
Hey, all right.
It's almost like it was written with the themes in mind, with the twist and with a little more teeth in it. And you know, I'm just going out on a limb here. And I will even give this. Everything wrong with the movie could have been producer notes, and I will give them that because I was really impressed with Booksmart. I don't know if you guys saw that one, but like Olivia Wilde can make a really, really tight little movie, and so and this feels like it was almost there. But yeah, I think it just needed teeth. Go with your original script if you must do this twist. Here's what I would like to do for the second pitch, for the like writing portion of the pitch. Can we pay off Victory in the desert and make it a non-simulation movie? Could we make just a little genre piece? Are you guys into that idea?
I would go full on and make it a cult movie.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So Victory is a like neoliberal fascist cult out in the desert, and the only thing that I don't have is like, what are they working on? Like because what happens in the film is when it's revealed that the place that these guys are going is they're just driving out of the simulation, then they're not actually working on anything. Like he's going to his dumb, work-a-day job type thing. I want them to have been going somewhere and actually doing something while they're out there.
Do you have
maybe they're actually... It might... Well, I would say maybe it is still simulation, but this is like still in the beta testing, and this is all like the workers' families, but the families don't know what's going on. It's just the workers.
Could I pitch a really quick thing?
Sure.
I just had an idea. You ever seen that movie Cube?
God.
You ever seen the movie Cube?
Oh yeah.
What if the facility they're going to is where they're making the first cube?
Okay, all right. No,
and that's where the woman disappeared too. She became a test subject.
Oh God.
I told you I know, it's dumb. It's stupid. My other idea is way more disgusting and gross.
Okay, I mean, I did bring up A Cure for Wellness earlier, and that movie ends with incest eels, if I remember correctly.
Yes. So, you ever read that the H.P. Lovecraft story Rats in the Walls?
No, but that sounds familiar. What's the what are the clip notes?
I literally just mentioned H.P. Lovecraft in the episode I recorded before
Nice.
that.
Yeah, yes. All right. Same wavelength.
I legit just talked about that fucker.
Same wavelength. Okay, so in Rats on the Walls, a guy inherits his family's house, I think after his father passes away, and so he and his cat, I'm not going to say the cat's name because it's a racist slur.
Oh, I thought
It's
you were
that-
gonna be. I thought you were gonna be more fun and have it be like Enoch or something.
No, it's N-word man. It's N-word man. That's the one.
Wow.
That's his name.
Wow.
Oh, I preferred my Over the Garden Wall.
I
name.
did too.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take that one. Let's just say, for the sake of an argument, that it's Enoch.
Yeah.
So anyways, this guy inherits a house, and he starts hearing this scratching within the walls, and he starts finding these hidden trapdoors that go into the bowels of the estate.
Okay.
He goes further and further down and down and down until he finds this cult of fishmen, essentially raping and impregnating
Crab people,
townspeople.
Crab people.
Yeah.
Chocolate.
They're basically capturing people, and they're like doing like weird rape orgies and impregnating people to like create these mutant species.
Wow.
What if that's kind of what this was? Remember the ending of Bone Tomahawk, where they break into the sort of like cannibal camp, and there's all those women that have their eyes and ears gouged
I
out.
really
and they're
need
just...
to do more shrooms.
Yeah, no, I see where you're going. Like they were troglodytes,
Yeah, they take-
right? Like weren't they supposed to be
Yeah.
like Cro-Magnon men?
Yeah, they're just basically just like capturing women to impregnate them to make them into breeding vessels. Yeah, that's like they're just to give birth to more kids in this cult. What it like that would go into like the uber incel power fantasy of men basically dominating women.
Yeah, that is definitely like a straight up incel power fantasy thing. I can see that. I'm trying to think like I almost want it to be a little edge of sci-fi. Like what if there was something out? They found something out in the desert, and it had their initial like experiments resulted in like mutants, right? And then they were like, okay, we need to breed these mutants into humanity. So they're bringing these women in to create like essentially like their like monster Aryan army, the super soldier type thing. Because of this like radioactive rock they found in the desert or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like Lovecrafty themes to it.
Yeah, I think that's is that the hell is it? Is it Dunwich Horror or it's Shadow over Innsmouth, where they go into a town and it's filled with all these fish people. Like they look kind of weird and have big bulbous eyes, but they still talk like ordinary people. Like, what if that became like she starts noticing as the movie goes on that people in the town start looking a little more weird. Like people's eyes start getting bigger and bigger, and like the world starts to mutate around her. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Yeah, because I mean, we're trying to have it linked in that wanting to leave is bad for them, right? Like being there is kind of satiation, but like wanting to leave, it ends up not being good for them. Because if you're just taking it like on the nose proper, what has happened is back in the 1950s, a bunch of people moved out into the desert to do research around this like secretive project, right? Like we're just taking that at face value.
Mm-hmm.
So then the men are experimenting on the women back in town. Ooh.
Okay.
Oh, what? Okay. I've got it. Frank is the guy that like built this company, discovered this some kind of like electromagnetic rock out in the desert, right? And he did the first initial experiments that result in some kind of mutant, right? So now we've got that, and then he brings in all these other guys through this cult that he builds because he needs to know that these guys aren't going to turn on him, right? So he decides, I'm going to build a cult on purpose.
I'm getting sorry to bother you vibes.
Yeah, I could see that comparison. I could totally see that. Yeah.
I would recast Chris Pine with Armie Hammer because it makes more sense.
There you go. All right. I mean, I don't want to work with a cannibal in real life, but
No, I don't. Did his family leave him?
So my thought is, what if we have Jack and Nick Kroll and that little gang? They have decided to start experimenting on the wives in town, right? On their own accord. So the twist is there's been a double conspiracy. Jack actually did some shit out here in the desert that these guys are trying to cover up. Because then you can have like a third act monster, right? Like you actually have a little. I'm thinking Barbarian, where they find the
Oh yeah. The twisted incest baby mother monster.
The monster in the basement. So something along those lines. So like and so the experimenting is what's giving Alice these like head trip moments. And they're gaslighting her into believing that she's not being experimented on, right? Like nothing's happening, nothing's going wrong. You're fine. You're just going a little crazy. But it's like, no, it's actually what, like maybe their exposure to the rock is leeching onto the women, as well as them like doing these kind of culty experiments directly on the women. The dancing scene, I feel, or scenes where the women are all doing ballet together. I feel like that.
Yeah, I thought that was so fucking weird.
Well, and like I understand that.
It felt like a reference to that Suspiria remake.
Yeah, it almost felt like that was part of the cult thing to keep these women in step to each other. Like, you force them to dance together to make them more similar to each other, so that way you can see who is falling out based on like body language.
Yeah.
Again, that's what I gleaned. That's not text in the film. I wish it was.
Well, make it text then.
Yeah, no, yeah, sure.
Let's make it text.
Yeah, so that's part of the cult indoctrination and experimentation. Gemma Chan's character then could be like in on it, right? Like she's aware of it because she's technically a level higher, being married to Jack. She knows there's like an inner secret and an outer secret, so she's navigating both of those. It just gives. I'm trying to give people more things to do within this besides Alice just having like gaslight freakouts until the reveal, you know?
Yeah, she doesn't do much else in the entirety of the movie. It's like, yeah, this is all fake. This is all not true, and no one believes her. That's the majority of the movie.
Well, because we're trying to go crazy with her, I think is the intent from the director, but it results in, again, like a lack of focus on the story, and if that's what we're trying to do, I'd rather focus in on giving the rest of the characters stuff to do within this kind of, like, this could end up feeling closer to what Super 8 could have been, you know, with like instead of a General Grievous monster running around fucking shit up with magnets. Something more along these lines, where Alice remains our POV character, but since we're not pulling her out into another real world, we just focus in on her kind of uncovering the truth of what Jack has been up to.
Okay, that makes more sense than just he just reveals it in a big monologue.
Well, yeah, and I'm trying to like sidestep away from the Stepford Wives Get Out stuff here, while still keeping that incel power fantasy aspect of, oh, yeah, this is just a bunch of shitty men doing whatever they want out in the desert because they figured out how to manipulate people with a cult.
Yeah. Also, what if...
This is what Jared Leto's up to in real life, by the way.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
100%. You know what? I know the fix of the movie. Just send a documentary crew to Jared Leto.
Sold.
Low budget. People will pay for it because they want to see him go crazy. It's already happening.
You know, before Ty West did this Mia Goth trilogy, he had a movie about a similar thing, about basically a Jonestown cult movie. I don't know if you guys ever saw it. I think it was called The Covenant.
Yeah.
I really dug The Covenant. That was a great fucking movie.
Ty West is a great... Can we recast? I know we want to give Olivia Wilde the benefit of the doubt here. Maybe she was under a lot of stress. I would recast director as Ty West. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I know I don't want to take away a job from a woman, especially one that's very successful and very good at her job, but this does not feel like material that's for her.
I don't think she should have directed and acted. She should have done either or.
Yeah.
That's going to be my note. She could either act or direct. I think for her life and for this project at the time, she should have just picked a singular job and stuck with it.
Yeah.
That's just my take.
It did the movie no favors having her personal life under a magnifying glass during the entire production of this film.
No, sure.
I mean, maybe it did. That's probably why the movie made a bunch of money. Who knows?
The movie made a bunch of money because they put every big name in it. Like, all of these people are constantly on my Twitter and TikTok since the movie came out.
But on the other hand, I waited till it came out on HBO to see it because of the drama.
Totally. No, fair, too.
Like, so before the drama, I was like, oh, I'm so seeing this in theaters. And as soon as that happened, I was like, I'm good. So I don't know if it did it good or bad.
Yeah. None of the actors ever addressed this movie in conversation, ever. That's how much they quickly forgot about this thing.
Shia LaBeouf's quote, when they asked him about losing the role later, he said, "It is what it is." And I just think that's such a cop-out.
Anyways,
what
back
else
to...
could he say?
Yeah. But, if I could keep the first half of this movie, I would.
The first half is fine. I would just move the reveal that there's something wrong up until the end of the first act. Doing it when the first 10 minutes where she finds the eggs are empty, that's too soon.
Yeah.
It's too soon.
We could absolutely cut out the entire airplane going out into the desert thing and replace that with her and...
I'm going back to your recasting Trolleyman.
Oh, yeah. Mantzoukas, all the way.
Yeah, and he can have a bigger part other than just Trolleyman. Like, have him show up randomly. Is like, I feel like in that aspect, the Trolleyman should be like the same person, but throughout. Like, if there's shops, have him be like the grocer at the market.
Oh, is this like that movie Men, where all the men are played by the same actor?
No, but that could be like a glitch, so to say. In her sect of like programming, that she's realizing that it's all one person because like the numbers were off, and like it's supposed to be different people because everyone else will be like, oh, perfect example, American Dad, how Roger has like a billion personas, and then he's like, oh, there's always one persona the family can't see through. You know, and like, otherwise, like, it's a billion personas, and then she's starting to see, like, hold up, okay, normally he's X, Y, and Z, but why is he the same person now? And that's like a glitch.
I love that idea. I want to give all of that to Frank. Like, what if she started seeing Frank around town, and it's like a visual representation of her seeing his like control and effects.
Yeah, because she's under his programming,
right.
So it would be him instead. Okay, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
So
Frank's kind of like the G-Man in Half-Life, just keeps showing up.
Exactly.
You go.
Exactly.
But god damn it, that's just like Serenity, where that fucking guy with the briefcase keeps showing up.
Because again, like Serenity is playing with the tools of that kind of story without understanding them. That's what's it's trying to drill a hole with a hammer. And the tool of the G-Man is very useful in this kind of story if used properly.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Serenity's big issue is it doesn't understand its material. That's to its core. It is someone's conception of video games and not video games.
Yeah. True.
Something else I would like to kind of tease out, like if we're gonna give this the kind of incel teeth thing, I want a kind of ending where it almost turns into that movie Revenge, where like once she's fought her way mentally into the core of what's happened and finds out about, this like fucking special rock. I love the idea that it's just Frank's obsession with a special rock. That's such a childish little boy thing. And
Yeah.
So it's so good for his character. And so when that's her like inner reveal, then she's got to fight her way out of this cult and escape for real this time, right? Not a simulation, but men who actually want to kill her. that have been controlling her for the last month. So she intensely knows their life, right? She can basically turn into like Housewife Rambo at the end. And our last 10, instead of it being a desert car chase, is like her exit from the cult and a visual representation of cutting off those like narcissistic type people from your life by straight up killing them in the point of this movie.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking of the remake of I Spit on Your Grave, which is not a good movie.
Yeah, I could see that comparison though. I see why you went there.
Yeah, like the ending of that movie is like she gets revenge on the guys that raped her, and she does like horrible things to them, and it's like it's no, we're never putting in a split the difference. There's no point. But it's kind of like that, where it's like just getting revenge on the men that just went after her, or something like that, or just getting revenge on just men in general.
Well, and I like the idea that if they don't try to stop her, they wouldn't get killed. You know what I mean? But it's because they would want to exert their control on her that it gets reversed back on them. Because then you could have like Nick Kroll have a confrontation and be like, maybe sorry about it, maybe want to, show what it would look like for an incel to kind of come around on their like fucked up worldview a little bit and give that like, because again, like if this movie is as much for people who have suffered at the hands of men and suffered at the hands of incels, I would also hope to extend to those people watching it who fall into those groups like, hey, you don't have to be this way, right? It's like Ant-Man 3. You don't have to be a dick, right, MODOK? Like, you don't have to be a dick.
Why the fuck did you go to that example?
Because it's recent and clippable.
Oh, okay.
But it kind of is the point that I'm getting to, is like showing in that's good faith in a debate like this, where the point of your movie is to say, hey, this is an expression of what a patriarchal system does to women. Show the oppressors within that system how they could dismantle it if they wanted to be morally coded to good. I think that would be an important thing to show off.
Yeah. Isn't it a little bit of this kind of stuff in Handmaid's Tale as well?
I gave Handmaid's Tale about 4 episodes, and then I said, this is just real life, and it's going to bum me out. And it was in the middle of COVID.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Oh, my God. Handmaid's Tale, though, I am caught up completely. I've read both of Margaret Atwood's books.
Oh, wow.
I
Grim.
I am more scared. The fact that, so
it's just happening now.
Tangent, real quick tangent. She made this book back in like the 70s, 80s. There was actually a movie, Handmaid's Tale, they made in the 90s.
Really?
That was about the first book. And some of the things that they were doing that she wrote about in the 70s and 80s that are happening today is the scariest fucking part. And it blows my mind that she was already writing about this shit. It's not like, and most people don't realize that like she wrote these books like decades ago.
Oh,
like,
wow.
So her original book, The Handmaid's Tale, was made fucking forever ago. She made her secondary book, the Testaments, within the recent years because of the show gaining popularity and everything, and that book in and of itself is amazing as well. But like, it's scary as fuck to know that she was writing about this decades ago, and it's now all coming to fruition.
That's
and
wild.
I'm just, and as a woman, I'm like, I'm scared. Maybe I should go to Canada. Like,
right.
I do have like Norwegian background. I'm gonna like try and ancestry that shit and be like, yo, can I go back to Norway? Like, what?
Apparently Finland is the happiest nation on the planet right now. Wow. I don't know what the fuck's going on in Finland, but apparently it's really good.
I actually have a book. It's like The Map to Happiness or something, and it talks about that. It came out probably 10, 12 years ago, and I bought the book because it was featured on the Colbert Report.
Oh, wow.
and it's interesting.
I might
It talks about why. Yeah.
I might give this movie a try. I'm looking at the trailer right now, and it looks like it's shot like one of the old Planet of the Apes movies. Like it's got that kind of old dystopian feel to it.
Because it is.
Yeah,
It is.
I might give that movie a try. That looks pretty good.
Coming soon to this season of Split the Difference.
Well, the difference is it's a movie versus a show.
I think the pilot episode of Handmaid's Tale really functions as a like a movie interpretation ish. I would compare the first episode to a movie, I think.
Yeah.
Just from what I'm seeing here, like it looks like the set design of the movie may have informed the show to some degree.
Well, the big thing too is like the book ended with season 1, so everything after season 1 is completely made up, and they have no reference. So the book ends at like season 1, basically.
Made up to the degree that they're just taking a stab at what will likely happen.
Yeah.
Honestly, yes. Honestly, but yeah.
For our listeners, Hope lives in the state of Mr. DeSantis. I'm sorry.
It's Mr. DeFascist. Get it right.
Right. Jesus Christ. Have you seen?
At least we're not Tennessee right now.
Have you seen that life expectancy map going around Twitter?
Hasn't it dropped?
So it's the U.S. mapped by life expectancy, but in red and blue, and basically, if you split the U.S. into 4 quadrants, northeast, northwest, and southwest are all very blue. Southeast, very red, very very red. Frightening. It's frightening numbers. It's crazy. Like by a difference of like 20 years, 65 to 87 is the jump.
Oh, I can tell you right now. So like, I'm very open with everyone on this podcast and everybody and my friends and everything. I have a lot of medical issues. Like I always have, both physically and mentally. I have a lot of issues. And the fact of the matter is, like, me going to any type of doctor down here, like when I went up to doctors back in Maryland, everything was done. They listened to me. They went for it. Everything good to go. Like anything happening down here, it's been in such an awful experience. The biggest with like me going through, I used to have cervical cancer. I have to go to my GYN a lot because of it, and like anything having to do with it, it's like a struggle to have it happen down here. I hate it.
Damn, the fascist reality that the movie's trying to reflect, right?
And the fact of the matter is that like I'm in a blue area of the red state too.
Yeah.
And that's the sad part is like I'm in one of the 3 blue spots.
Yep. You know what the sad part about Handmaid's Tale is, besides the actual content? It's a story about men oppressing women through religion. Elizabeth Moss is a Scientologist.
No, she's not anymore.
Oh, she quit? Oh, thank God. Oh, fuck yes.
I don't think she is anymore.
Redemption. Dude, I don't know how that group no, I do because they're a cult. But in a post South Park world, I'm sorry.
I was just about to say South Park.
There's no way that anybody goes in and goes, no, I'll still give this a try though. What? I mean, and I say that the Bible looks like D&D if you stare at it the right way. So I get it. I get it. I would take a chance on the sci-fi religion over
roll a D20 to see if you drink the red wine.
Yeah, I would put my money on a sci-fi cult over a swords and sorcery cult.
The Bible looks like D&D.
Okay,
he talks to a burning. Think of it this way: he gets a mission from a burning bush.
Yeah,
they raise. He literally rolls a D20 to raise the waters so Moses can pass. Like
didn't Noah like fight giants or some shit?
Yeah. So
Oh, the
Nephilim.
Oh, I was about to say they have the Cyclops and the fucking.
So
What else did we rip off from Greek mythology?
this is my favorite anecdote about what is the content of the Bible. A lot of people don't read it cover to cover. I've read it cover to cover 6 times in my life. So
Oh God,
there's a word in.
I haven't even read the first word because I'll burn.
So there's a word in Star Wars that's in the Bible. The word is Endor, the planet where the Ewoks are from.
Wait.
That's a location in the Bible. And according to the Old Testament, a witch lived there, the Witch of Endor. And I think it's King David. It might have been one of his sons, goes to the Witch of Endor, and I'm not kidding, has her cast a necromancy spell and bring a prophet back to life that had died previously in the Bible. This is...
And somehow Palpatine returned.
Oh my God!
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding that the Bible just looks like D&D when you read it. Just Google the Witch of Endor. Read this shit for yourself. Don't believe me. I'm lying, right? Google the Witch of Endor. Read it for yourself, and then tell me that that's not a fucking D&D book.
So who do the Ewoks represent?
I don't think there's a direct biblical to Star Wars comparison to be made. I mean, it is funny that she resurrects a Force ghost, and that is what they use.
Look, the Ewoks are there to make money and sell plushies.
No, yeah.
That's all.
But like, I think it's funny that any religion, Scientology, Christianity, if you look at it with the right lens, it's gonna look like a fantasy book, and I think that's very funny. When we have Hope here telling us about a real dystopia in Florida, like,
yeah,
like,
and also we're going into this on the day of resurrection, Easter today. Yay.
I was gonna say also, I work in a lab, and the fact that like there's been laws for, like, the labs and like marketing and shit that we've passed that like actually charges insurances more for certain testing, and we've had to like redo certain tests and how we organize it in order to charge more. Just saying.
Hate that.
Mm-hmm. Capitalism in America.
So and to loop this back into Don't Worry, Darling, that's the real world. The real world's got fucking teeth. Your movie can have teeth too. Like, you're not saying too much if you do the.
If The Handmaid's Tale can do the shit it does,
right?
Don't Worry, Darling can fucking do it.
That's the thing. Like, Handmaid's Tale and Don't Worry, Darling, they're trying to cover the same terrain, which is like toxic men in control of society. Why is it that one of this does it really well, the other one sucks? Like, it's just because there's just
Margaret Atwood has fucking balls.
Yeah, there's no. This is what the movie is mostly missing: confidence in its source material.
No, you're dead on. Because like, I see this movie as kind of meandering around the idea, and then Handmaid's Tale is let them eat cake, right? It is as like on the nose, just straight. No, this is what it looks like. This is the satire. This is exactly what it is. It's very.
It's not even satire. It's not even satire. It's prophetic.
No, yeah, exactly. Well, and that
like it happens. It's happening now.
Well, and did the Simpsons predict everything? Is The Onion just prophecy? It disguises comedy. Like a lot satire just turns into prophecy eventually because it's talking about the worst things that humans will do, and there's a lot of worst humans out there now. The internet made us better and worse in both directions, Well,
the internet made us smaller. Technology has made the world smaller, and it sad to say, the one like meme or whatever out there that always kills me is we have a tool on the planet that lets us have every speck of knowledge at our fingertips, and we use it to make memes. Like, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. I mean, when
we can literally learn any goddamn thing on the planet. We can research any goddamn thing on the planet. We use it for memes.
That's what drives me crazy about presidential debates and shit like that. You have a tool in your hand that can literally fact check someone within about 20 seconds. Why don't you do that? Why isn't no one ever just pulls out their phone and just says, no, you're lying? I would love to see that at a debate. The person that's the opponent just pulls out their phone and says, yeah, you didn't say that. Or, yeah, you did say that. Just, please.
So there's actually a reason why they have to leave all their electronics at the door. The only electronics allowed in debates and such things like that is cameras.
Because then they'd be revealed as being frauds.
Ding, ding,
It's-
ding,
it's-
ding, ding, ding.
Hey!
We were just talking about psychics recently, right? It's the same shtick. It's just a little different, you know? Oh, yeah, we'll rig the game that you can't fact check me until way later, and so you can't call me a liar to my face. You can only call me a liar on the internet, which doesn't count because everybody lies on the internet. You know what I mean? It's such a
Right.
it's such a fucking shiesty game.
It's a fucking game. It's a goddamn game.
Like Tennessee just now, they kicked 3 Democratic senators or House of Representatives out of the House because they were against they were pro-gun control. So they just said, no, we're just going to expel them. As opposed to debating them, they just expelled them.
Well,
they just said, fuck
and
it.
it's worse than that. They were both black, right? And
Oh, yeah, it was black. It was racism.
well,
yeah, it was absolute racism.
It's worse than that. That's a virtual lynching. They're trying to make people in their area afraid to speak out on that stuff. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Like, we have reverted to the 1950s, just like, don't worry, darling.
Why was this stuff not in this movie?
Yeah, it was. It was the black woman who got killed first.
Yeah, bring
Like,
that
you
to the
said.
forefront. This is the forefront of the story.
Why is that not part of it? Just, come on.
It was women were put down. The black people were killed off first. The one Asian woman who was in control is the mastermind behind it, but she's still put down because she's a woman.
Oh, yeah. We didn't get to that in the negatives. What the fuck was that? I get her killing Frank. Yeah, he sounds like a terrible person. I'll give you that one. But then she's like, I'm going to take over this shit? Is that... And then no payoff to it at all? Just like, are we trying to sequelize this? What is happening?
I don't know. I just had a thought. Is the character of Frank a reference to Frank Fontaine from BioShock? No, it couldn't be. No, never mind.
I mean...
No, that's
That's too much. No, Olivia Wilde doesn't play video games. That's a stretch. Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not her. That's not.
But she doesn't.
Well, see, I took it as a reference to inceldom directly, where they say things like "actually" or "let me be frank," where before they launch into their insane little tirades. That's kind of, I took it as like a joke name.
Oh, okay.
And then like Harry Styles,
Or an acronym of some
yeah,
sort.
Harry Styles is just Jack, no last name. You know.
Yeah, that's why the name is so simple.
I am Jack's complete lack of interest.
Yeah, that's how I feel at the end of
This
this.
is the house that Jack built, which is
Yeah.
a reference to men building incredible art around their mistakes, like.
Yeah. There's a good movie you can go watch if you can stomach it. Mm-hmm.
There's more teeth.
There's a lot you could do with this, and they did nothing. It's just Stepford Wives.
It all comes down to the drama. It's a failure due to the drama. Honestly, It had the cast. It had the original story. I honestly think it was banking too much. There's just so much happening behind the scenes. The behind the scenes killed it.
Yeah.
Enough said.
Whenever the director and the lead actor hook up during a production, it just causes problems. Like it's happened before.
Indy.
I don't understand how they have enough time to do that. I'm not gonna lie. They're really putting in the after hours shit to develop these relationships like that.
I don't know. It's like
It starts out as getting a midnight quickie to relieve stress, and it evolves from there. That's all.
I mean, makes sense.
I mean, let's name all the times this has happened. Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, Underworld with Len Wiseman and Kate Beckinsale, where Michael Sheen still had to come back to play the character in another movie.
Yeah.
That must have been really awkward. Didn't Sam Mendes and Kate Winslet get together on the set of Revolutionary Road?
Oh my God, I don't know.
I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know. But this is not an uncommon thing.
No, yeah.
Like Kristen Stewart and who was the guy that she got together with, and then Robert Pattinson got fucked over. It's like, though his career went in a much better direction.
Back when we really put the parasocial in our parasocial relationships, we had magazines that just cared only about this stuff.
Yeah, I know. I mean, not that I give a shit. I'm just saying that this is not an uncommon thing. But if it happens, typically that becomes the focus of the conversation and not the movie itself.
Right.
So, like, the movie itself was never really brought up in discussion with this film. It was the shit with Shia LaBeouf. It was Florence Pugh is in fighting with Olivia Wilde. Olivia Wilde is banging Harry Styles. It's like, it was all that. Well, and it was never, hey, is this movie interesting? And the answer, unfortunately, was no.
I wonder how much...
It could have been.
I wonder how much of that is like a PR step, too. Like, because coming out the gate, it was, there's no way this doesn't win, right? There's no way that this cast... with this kind of story, this Blacklist script that everybody loves, there's no way that this doesn't win. And it was like really queued up to be a critical darling and kind of sweep. And then
they see
the movie and they go, oh wow, yeah, this is just okay and kind of silly. Let's blow up the drama around this a little bit to throw people off the scent that this might be a little bit of a stinker. Not much, just a little whiff of stinky, which again could have maybe if they had been more objective through the filming process, for as much as he can for his subjective medium, they might have seen these things and bobbed and weaved around it. You know, I just it looks like an optics thing to switch from there's no way that this doesn't win to oh guess what happened on the set of this movie.
Yeah, I mean it paid off. We made money. It made Brackett's budget and made small profit. So you know.
Yeah, no, if I was Olivia Wilde, it would still be a feather in my cap. Like I think this is an accomplished movie all around. I hope her next one really has teeth. I really hope because Booksmart really felt like it had, you know, the little puppy teeth that are extra sharp but don't really hurt you too bad. That's what Booksmart felt like. Yeah. It was like, oh wow, you're really fucking saying something. And as like seeing her transition from acting into directing was so cool because I've followed her since House. You know, like I'm a big fan. I want to champion her as much as I can. I wish I had been consulted on this movie. You know, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Why was I not consulted? God.
Yeah, I mean, I met her once before. She's nice.
Yeah,
you know.
I bet.
I mean, I worked on the set of hell was that movie that I worked on? What the fuck was it called? God damn
I bet if I look at her IMDb,
it was the one with Sam Rockwell. Better Living Through Chemistry. That's
Better
right.
Living Through Chemistry. Oh,
yeah, it's not great. It's okay. It's got some good stuff in it. It's shot in Annapolis. It was nice.
Okay,
you know, it was literally shot like 15 minutes from my house, so that was nice. But yeah, in terms of like, she's a nice person, you know. It's just unfortunate that this movie is just not great.
Womp.
Yeah, so I don't think there's anything else to say.
No, yeah, I think that's original script pitch and or little boy finds a rock in the desert and creates a cult around it. That's how I would have liked to see it pay off, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also just saw that.
Make it weirder is the thing. Make it weirder.
Oh yeah.
Weirder than Serenity. Don't do that.
Yeah. There was a found footage movie that came out recently. I'm trying to remember what it was called. It's about a bunch of kids finding a weird rock in the desert.
What?
I had just watched Skinamarink and
All right, how is that?
I still need to see that.
Jesse, you liked Blair Witch Project, right?
I like it in general. I think it doesn't quite hold up on repeat viewings, but it's all right. It's pretty good. The last 10 minutes is really where it kicks off.
Yeah, Skinamarink is like the Blair Witch Project for the Backrooms generation. It's kind of got this like, it feels like memories of the 90s as a kid.
Oh, Jesus.
It's kind of existential and weird. It's not my kind of movie, but I understand why it's like really taking off. I think other people, I can see why they're into it. I watched it and then this other movie about the kids going out in the desert. Everybody was talking about it at Sundance, and then it was just kind of not good to me.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what it is. I'm going to look. The Outwaters. That's what it is.
The Outwaters. I don't even think I've heard of that.
Okay, watch the trailer. And if the trailer looks good to you, that is what the movie is. Like, it is very, very much presenting what the film is.
Okay.
Well, let's.
Or you asked me to watch it. Or you asked me to watch it now.
No.
Okay, I'll watch it later.
I'm just trying to spur on more conversation.
Yes, watch it now. We're gonna sit here waiting.
Spur on more conversation around the show. Anyone who saw The Outwaters knows what I'm talking about and understands the reference within the pitch at this point. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah. I'm going on 4 hours of recording.
You have recorded a lot today. Yeah, this was a fun episode. We really got to kind of get all over the place. Jesse, you called it a hodgepodge movie. It ends up being a hodgepodge episode because of that.
Because the movie itself is not that interesting or that deep. Like, when you go back and if I was to rewatch this, every decision in the first half of the movie makes zero sense. When you know it's a simulation, you know this isn't real. Does it make sense as to why Harry Styles does the things he does?
Because he's an idiot.
Pays him off as being exceptionally like good at lying.
Slimy?
Yeah, he's super slimy. He's very good at lying. The scene where after she wakes up from touching the building the first time and he's cooking dinner and you watch that scene with the knowledge of, oh, he's like holding her here, he's very obviously ignoring her questions and like trying to like recirculate away from that kind of stuff. It's creepy to watch his gaslighting on the second watch, for sure.
Yeah.
They paid really good attention to his character making sense as to its actions for this plot. I feel like I have to be really specific there because I'm.
Yeah. What moves the plot forward?
Right.
That will
right.
do.
Yeah, he's definitely a gaslighter on second watch, but like that's the only extra you grab from it. Otherwise, it's like, oh yeah, and then when she's alone, she's gonna have a scary situation because I guess the reality is a little lopsided or maybe like because they have earthquakes and stuff, which I guess represents their bodies getting moved or something,
tussled around or whatever.
I guess.
Again, like the airplane never explained.
Yeah, it just so many questions left unanswered. I feel like I'm watching Lost.
And I think that's a good place where we'll
Yep,
stop.
I think that's going to do it for this episode. Hope and Jesse, thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
I'm always happy to be here.
Knocked this one off the list. I think next we are talking about Baywatch.
Fuck me.
And we can,
God damn it.
we can really dive into toxic masculinity on the next one.
Oh, didn't you want to do like a two whatevers episode talking about every movie Dwayne Johnson has made in the last like 15 years?
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to break down just his roles. I don't want to do at like the plots of the movies, but I just want to compare his roles. It looks suspiciously like a writer to me.
I said last night I want to do a challenge this summer where I watch every Liam Neeson action movie all the way through just to see if these are in any way different from each other.
Liam Neeson suffers from...
Did you guys get the YouTube I sent? The clip I sent?
The clip? Oh yeah. The Ricky Gervais clip.
Oh yeah.
He can be funny. I think he can be funny. He's the best part of A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Well, he
Oh
can
God,
be.
yeah.
He's funny because he's playing that action character from those movies in a setting where he doesn't fit.
Right? Yeah. They
Yeah.
lean on the comedians for the comedy in that scene for sure.
Yeah, like when he was it the what the hell is that show called? Remind me.
Which
The Ricky Gervais clip where Warwick
Oh.
Davis.
Oh, it's improvisational comedy or
No, the-
improbable.
oh no,
the
the
name of the
extras,
show itself.
wasn't it?
No, it wasn't extras. It wasn't extras. It was
Extras was good, but it wasn't that. But God.
whatever.
Ricky Gervais
I'll
has done
put
so
it-
much British TV at this point. I'm
Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Just there's so much Ricky Gervais. That was even part of the joke. They're like, but why can't Ricky Gervais get away with it? I don't know. He just does.
We keep trying to end this episode. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
What's up, Popeyes? What's up, Popeyes? Oh, these are my burgers. Oh, these are my burgers. You come here, Papa. Come here. Oh, the Popeyes. Oh. Yeah. Come here, Popeyes. Oh, it's my babies. Oh, it's my babies. I love you. I love you. Yes, I do. I love you. I love you. These are my boys. Yeah, these are my bobbies. Do you hate this movie too? I think you hate this movie too. Yeah. Fuck this movie. These are my bobbies. These are good boys. These are my good boys. Yes, my good boys. Here's my puppies. How kisses? Oh, little bobbies. Hi. What's a big cat? You want down, Popeyes? Oh, Popeyes.
All right, I'm back.
Are you editing this one, Seth?
Yeah.
I was about to say
Why?
you're gonna hear a long stint of me having a conversation with my dogs. Then
Oh, that's cute. I'll put that on the end of the episode.
I just realized I was like close enough for the mic to pick it up. I was like, oh shit. Gotta get my mid cuddle session in with them.
Right. No, exactly. I go potty, and then I find out where all the cats are sleeping and give them a couple little pets before I sit back down.
How are they adjusting?
I mean, they love it. Joji used to be indoor outdoor. Like she spent most of her day outside at our last place, and here she just wants to be inside all day. Like she does not like she'll go out if I go out and smoke or something, but she immediately
Right.
wants to come back in with me, and so I'm like, damn, did living in the apartment turn you into a house cat? Like she was born feral. I'm shocked that she's like this, wanting to be inside this much.
Well, how old is she now?
All right, I'm back.
How old is she now?
5, almost 6.
Okay, so she's getting like, she's not a kitten anymore, so she's adjusting to like chill life. So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, she's hit her midlife. She plays like for a little bit after she eats, and then she goes and naps for the rest of the day, like Harvey.
Right. She's in her like comfy life, like, oh, what
Yeah.
the fuck is outside? Fuck, I have these people to take care of me. Fuck this shit.
And she
You know?
may also switch when the nice weather's here. Like it's still winter,
Yeah.
or early spring here, so it's rained
it's still
every day
chilly,
since
yeah.
I've moved in.
Ugh.
Well, you're technically in Washington, so that makes sense.
Yeah, no, we're just getting all the roll off from the Rockies. Like we can see the storms coming in up over
That's
the
what I'm.
mountains.
Yeah.
But like it's never all day. Like we'll get like a chunk
No,
of
it's in
rain.
stints.
Yeah, we'll get a chunk of rain, and then like it'll clear off and almost dry off by the end of the day. It's just every morning we get a little dusting off the mountains.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys ready to jump back in?
Yeah. Also, Seth, I can edit this episode. It's no problem.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you want to, I have the afternoon free, so
I
I was
have-
just gonna go right into it.
I have nothing else to do today.
Okay, cool.
So.
Oh, then I will restate what I said to Seth. You might hear a stint of me talking to the boys while you were away. So
I'll put that in or something like that as Patreon
You
content.
put it on the Patreon tag.